Hi everyone. Today we consider whether it's the whales that are truly leading the charge here rather than a Wall Street bets inspired silver squeeze. So let's dive on in and take a look. So the key points we're going to run through just really the action that we've seen on the markets today, as well as the fact that whales could be front running this whole move. And we'll also consider what the potential implications of this actually are. So let's take a look. So let's start with silver, which is up almost 8% as we currently speak here. Now, it gapped up enormously as the market opened last night, and it's really quite something to behold. Now, you can see here where there was a big hammer on the price, and you can see the price level drop from just below $30 right down to almost $28. So really, really significant impact on silver, but yet the recovery has been fairly strong, and it looks as though it's just about gaining some sort of level of support above $29 now. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but $30 is absolutely crucial. Now, I've had that mark measured on my charts for a long time, and as soon as $30 is broken decisively, I think that there really is the chance that this could move very quickly. But equally, there's also the chance that we might fail to actually break through there. And we can see that we've come close a number of times, getting through on one occasion, but yet twice more, it seems to be just hammered back down. So that is going to really be the key theme for the coming week. So just looking at gold, well, gold's up about 1% on the day, and the gold miners themselves are just still asleep. And I think that's really interesting to actually note here. So if we do continue to see silver make big moves, there's every chance gold will slowly catch up, or gold will make some gains. But of course, when it comes to the gold-silver ratio, silver is going to move very quickly. Now, that does provide other opportunities, of course, for areas that are undervalued, like gold miners. And that's something we'll have to look at later in the week. And so just looking at the gold-silver ratio, well, we can see it hit 62 or so earlier today. So a really dramatic move there. And once again, we can see that silver has got through that 68 resistance level. And really, we can look to see this move down towards the 50s if that $30 mark is really broken. And so meanwhile, AG, First Majestic Silver, with that large short position held against it, again gapped up significantly and is up around 22% as I last looked. And we can see that this is a big old move that is taking place here. So very significant. One of my miners today, I was just absolutely stunned by, was Comstock Mining. And actually got over $4 from starting the day at $1.20. So you can see up, about 142% there. So there really have been some huge moves today. And so what are some of the key points we know to be true about the current state of play? Well, we know silver is the most heavily manipulated precious metal commodity. So that's absolutely fundamental to what we're seeing take place with this potential short squeeze. We know that very large, powerful institutions are short silver and do not want silver to make big moves upwards. But we also know that a number of institutions are heavily long and heavily invested in silver and have been for quite some time. What seems to be very interesting here is as to whether the whales have actually gone long much earlier and have actually front run and have actually led this whole move upwards for silver. So let's just take a little look at this. And so we can see that going back to many of these holdings which were declared back in June last year, March last year in the SLV ETF, well, we can see that there's a very, very significant and powerful base of institutions with significant holdings of that SLV ETF. So that's worth noting. Now, it's also worth noting that the size of the inflows that have taken place. Now, this inflow was on Friday, and that is the largest silver ETF inflow for, as you can see, the last 15 years by some distance, going back to what we saw in 2012 there, 2013. There was a big inflow, but these moves are very, very significant. Now, this is very, very interesting from Unusual Whales, which just plots various points where whales have taken out option contracts on silver. Often they've timed these quite well, just when a bottom came in and they decided to actually make such trades. So this is very, very interesting to note, and you can see the date on here that Unusual Whales has put down. Goes back to the 14th of January here, and you can actually see the size based upon the size of the nodal points there. So some of these gains now are very, very significant. Now, what we can also see is that Wall Street Bets have first mentioned the silver squeeze back in about 26th of January here, and then there was SLV, AG, web activity taking place on the 27th, and then there was a discussion thread on Wall Street Bets for the start of the silver squeeze. So this is very interesting that we do appear to be seeing very, very large institutions front running this whole situation, and that is significant. What's more, we also see something very similar when it comes to AG and the big short position on First Majestic shares. So once again, we can see the options taken out here, and we can also see that the timing, once again, it's very good, timing it right at the bottom of a dip there to enter that trade. And then we can see the Wall Street Bets first mentioned silver short squeeze, on the 26th there. So a full day after that had actually taken place. So it really does seem as if big money is actually leading this charge. What's more is also someone on Wall Street Bets here. Who is this? This is Tyrion Lannister 69. So we should be compiling links of sources claiming Wall Street Bets is for silver. We're not, plain and simple. Anyone who frequents Wall Street Bets knows this. Now, it's been all over the media today that this is a retail-led charge, but clearly that is not the case based on some of the evidence we've just looked at there, which is very, very interesting to note. But nonetheless, that retail demand is absolutely significant. And just look at this, that JM Bullion sold almost 1 million ounces of silver this weekend versus 50,000 to 100,000 on a typical weekend. Largest single day volume ever, and had to pull silver after the inventory was depleted, knowing that the price was going to gap up significantly. And so let's just have a look what an experienced old hand like Willem Middelkoop has said about this situation. So why did JP Morgan go from massive paper short position to massive long physical position? Because they knew one day. Is that day now? Don't know. Could be. Billionaire Eric Sprott, who he sees as his mentor, has been saying this for years. Once this dam of manipulation breaks, you could see $100 silver within a week. Ask yourself, who is willing to pay 30 to 40% pre-market? Those are not the Reddits. Those are pros buying on the silver squeeze. So it really looks as though, and sounds as if from what Willem is saying here as well, that there is big institutional money following this move and also leading this move. So what does this all mean? Well, clearly there's been a plan for price action on silver by big financial institutions. What does it mean? Well, that $30 mark is the clear boundary here, I think. And if that $30 mark is broken decisively, then this is absolutely significant for the upside for silver. But equally, if that level fails, then we're likely to see the actual price subside somewhat. So it really is a crucial level for the week ahead. So yeah, just I keep reminding myself at these points, certainly manage risk, don't be afraid to take profits, and you know, there are plenty of areas of value still out there, as I said, that we'll look at later in this week. Gold miners literally asleep, they're barely moving, barely nudging at all. So anyway, I hope that's been a useful little roundup of day one of this silver squeeze. It's been great fun to watch, that's for sure. Yeah, do make sure you've subscribed. Do make sure you've considered signing up for my free monthly newsletter, which I'll get out very soon. And thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.